All right, Shalom family, Most High in Christ bless you all online.
We in this building.
My name is Officer Ira. We're here live and direct from New York. All right, today's class is titled Babylon's Hand in Venezuela, Regime Change in Plain Sight. All right, for y'all that have been watching the news, you see how Nicolas Maduro, pull those pictures up, how Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, got taken from his own country by the DEA, right, under the pretense of narco-terrorism, right, narco charges, and he is right now in Brooklyn, New York, facing supposedly criminal charges, right? But listen, what we're witnessing right now, supposedly 2026, right, is we're watching live and direct a whole country being colonized, right? We're watching in plain view America taking over a country. Why? Because they are coveting the oil, the resources of Venezuela. So let's start with Isaiah 58 and 12. 58 verse 12.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 12.
Come on.
Come on.
And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations.
Come on.
And thou shalt be called.
So this is what the prophets, the teachers are going to be called, right? And they shall be called
the repairer of the breach.
the repairer of the breach. Read on.
The restorer of paths to dwell in.
So this is heavy because this is what our job is as teachers. Our teachers, God calls us the repairers of the breach. Right now, there's a great breach in our neighborhoods, right? In Latin America, Black and Latino communities. Right now, the people are asking questions. How is it that this American empire can go to a foreign country, just take a president, right? Because that's breaking all kinds of international laws. But nothing happens. Meanwhile, Israel over there is been bombing the Palestine. Nothing has happened to them. But listen, right now is a time to reveal the wicked. This has to happen because, give me that real quick, in Hosea 5:15, the Bible says that in our affliction, we will see God. And
That's
during this
right.
affliction, we're going to show you who the devil is. Oh, yeah, because a lot of you Latinos, I know what it is. Y'all been raised with the image of white angels, right? Of St. Michael and a black devil. But that's what you've been raised as. But today is the time to understand who is the true devil. Who is Lucifer? But give me Hosea 5:15.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So that's one thing we have not done as a people. We have not acknowledged our offenses. We have not opened the Bible and have read that we are the true Israelites. That we got to stop worshiping white Jesus. We got to stop worshiping these pagan holidays like Christmas, so-called New Year's, right? Read on.
And seek my face.
We got to seek the Bible how it is written, right? Because you Venezuelans, right? You are the Israelites. You're from the tribe of Asher. Come on.
In their affliction.
In their what?
In their affliction.
What's affliction? Right now you see all kinds of chaos, right? People protesting for Maduro, against Maduro. A whole country was bombed, right? They took your president, and now they're taking the oil. In their affliction,
they will seek me early.
now is the time for you to seek God. Right now is the time for you to understand that you are the Israelites, right? You Venezuelans, you Colombians, you are for the tribe of Asher, right? And you black and Latinos, we are the 12 tribes. So look, from here, Zadek, give me 2 Thessalonians 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and it start at verse 2. All right?
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Come on.
That ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that day of Christ is at hand.
Come on.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come.
So what Paul is letting us know is that before the Messiah returns, right? Because we've been hearing it for years, right? The church been preaching that for years. But this is the clue right here. Paul letting us know that before that day, what has to happen? Read on.
Except there come a falling away first.
So what does that mean? That means that the 12 tribes of Israel, we had to fall away. We had to go into slavery. The temple had to get destroyed. We had to get renamed in different identities. What are those? Haitians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, blacks, right? We had to fall away from God. We had to start worshiping a white Jesus, right? That is the falling away. The true Israelites, We fell from our true identity. We fell from our true culture, right? So that is the first thing that had to happen, the falling away of the 12 tribes. Read on.
And that man of sin
And what else has to happen, Zedek?
be revealed.
And the man of sin has to be revealed. So you got to ask yourself, but who is this man of sin? And today we're going to use what's happening in the news to reveal who that man of sin is. Read on one more time.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed.
Come on.
The son of perdition.
The son of perdition. Read on.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
So listen, the man of sin, the son of perdition, he's going to oppose himself in every way against the Heavenly Father. What does that mean? You look up on Google, just look up God. Just look up Jesus. Look up Jew. Look up Christian. You're going to find what Caucasian images. When the Bible lets us know that all the men, like Moses, Daniel, Christ himself, were men of color, right? Black people. But what did he do? He globally changed all of these images, right? And there's books like In the Pillory that lets you know clearly that the man they call Jesus today, that is in fact Caesar Borgia, right? Boom, let's get it real quick. Thank you, IT. Zoom in. Read that, the original.
The original of this bust was found in the church of San Salvatore in Terminus, now destroyed. It is an open secret that Cesare Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander, had posed for it.
So you see what the elites know? They know it is an open secret, right? To them, it is known that the man that posed for this bust, right, supposed to be Jesus Christ, is not Christ. It is Caesar Borgia.
That's right.
So the same man you Latinos would die for, right? You cry over at Christmas, New Year's parties. This man is Caesar Borgia, right? So that's why it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Read on.
Or that is worship.
Or that is worship. That's what, give me that famous picture, right? Of so-called Saint Michael, right? Archangel Michael and the devil. There's always a white angel and a black devil. That is called that is called idolatry. That is idolatry right there, right? And we have to have anger against those things, right? Because it's false. Come on.
So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God.
So you see, it says, so he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God. Because any image you go, like, for example, you go to any church, whether it be here in the States or foreign country, you're going to find nothing but what? Caucasian images, right? You go to the Vatican, white images. So he has put himself as a God on this earth, right? Come on.
Showing himself that he is God.
And this is why our people, anytime they see a white man walk down the streets, they praise him. Let him come to your foreign country. Let him come to DR. Let him come to Venezuela. Let him come to any of our so-called countries. He will steal all your resources in front of your eyes. But because he is white, you will say nothing. Why? Because in your houses, you're raised with this image right there, right? Of a white, leave that up there. You was raised with, no, go back to the other one. You was raised with a white image of the angels, right? But look at the devil with an afro, black. That's what this man will come to your countries. He will take your resource. Look at Dominican Republic. They will go and prostitute all your women, right? Go to Colombia. They will sleep with all your daughters. But because he is white, you will say nothing. Because of these images right here. Because he has put himself as a God. But the Bible calls him who? The son of sin and the son of perdition. Right, come on, read on.
Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
So what Paul says, and now ye know what withholdeth. Withholdeth what? The return of Christ. Right? The 12 tribes have been falling away. Now we're coming back to our true identity. And now, guess what? What no churches have done, what no pastor has ever done. Matter of fact, what they're scared to do, we're doing it. right? The Bible said what? We're the repairers of that breach. So we're here now with the Bible revealing who the son of sin, who the son of perdition is, who that man of sin is, right? Right? It says that he might be revealed in his time. Now is the time. Now is the time to show who the enemy is. Come on, read on.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
So that man of sin been working since the time of Rome. And how do we know that? Because the Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholic Church under Pope Nicholas V, he started the disgraceful slave trade. And that is in plain history books. He made it a global decree. All those that were non-Christian, non-Catholics, he gave the authority to enslave all those indigenous people, right? So he already been at work. The devil, right? Satan, come on.
Only he who now letteth will let.
Come on.
Until he be taken out of the way.
And his time is coming. His time is coming. But read on.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Then that what?
That wicked be revealed.
So look, that's how, because right there is a capital W, right? Then that wicked. So this is talking about a particular person, right? And then that wicked shall be revealed. Hold that, go to Malachi real quick. You know I want. Because it says, then shall that wicked be revealed. Who is that wicked? Because you know a Christian will tell you, oh, anybody that commits sin is wicked. Nope. This is a particular wicked on earth. Come on.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas
that's right.
Edom saith, we are in poverty.
Now, Edom, the word Edom means red. Now, listen, you go to any beach on a hot summer day, you know who turns red. You know who turns red. It's the same person that is in the cabinet in the White House right now. They are red people. Yes, they are the red people, right? Whereas as Edom saved, because biblically talking, the biblical name for all Caucasians, your German Caucasians, your Italian Caucasians, your Jewish Caucasians, your American Caucasians, their biblical name is Esau, Edom. That's who they are, right? Come on.
But we will return and build the desolate places.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Watch this.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
You see what God calls them? God calls them the border, the beginning and ending of all wickedness. Why? Because they are the wicked. To go back to Thessalonians, Paul, they are the wicked. They are the wicked of this earth. Come on to verse 8.
First Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Come on.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Now, why we have to get revealed? Because clearly it says in Malachi who it is. Because again, we showed before, they have changed all of the biblical images to look like them. So to our people, he is God. He has to be Christ. He has to be the angels. That is why it is our job, brothers, to reveal that he is that wicked. Who? The white man. Come on.
Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
And that's us using the Bible. The spirit of the mouth of the Lord is the Bible. And we are the messengers, right? Come on.
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Verse 9.
Even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan.
So look what the Bible is revealing to us. That everything this man does on the earth is after the coming of Satan. Why? Because they are the children of Satan. Everything they've been endowed to do, right? They've been given the knowledge of warfare, the knowledge how to fight, tactical movements, how to go to the moon, how to fight rockets. All of that has been what? Put in their brain by Satan, because they are Satan's seed on earth. Come on.
With all power and signs.
Now, which power? What kind of power they have? Hold that. Go to Revelations 13:13. You know what I want, IT? What kind of power? It says, even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan, with all power and signs. What kind of power? Let's see. Because, look, give me that real quick. Revelations 13:13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Now, when did this man, when in earth, in history, did they say fire came down from heaven? When they dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they said fire has come down from heaven. And from this point in history, all of the earth has bound down to America. From this very moment, everybody knew the US of A, it is the global empire, right? They understood nobody can touch with this man militarily, right? So go back, verse 9, Thessalonians 2 and 9.
1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9.
Come on!
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
So now let's get to the first article. Give me USA Today. Right? Give me USA Today.
USA Today. Trump calls Monroe Doctrine the Donroe Doctrine after Venezuela raid.
So come on, this was written January 3rd, right? The same day they went and grabbed Nicolas Maduro, right? So go down to the article. Start from the top. Right there.
In his hour-long press conference following the early morning capture of Venezuela's leader and his wife, President Donald Trump justified the operation as one in line with a more than 200-year-old foreign policy agenda, the Monroe Doctrine.
So matter of fact, hold that real quick. Give me the short video I sent you about the Monroe Doctrine, because there might be people watching this video and may ask, what is the Monroe Doctrine, right? This was written about 200 years ago. What is the Monroe Doctrine, all right? Get that real quick. Because again, we're gonna use what's happening today in the news to reveal that this man, the same man that a lot of you voted for, right? A lot of you voted for. Y'all was voting for Trump. Y'all made songs for Trump. Y'all was crying for Donald Trump. The Bible called this man the son, and not just him, but all of the Caucasian race. They're the son of sin. They're the son of perdition, the man of sin, the beast, right? So, come on.
James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States, is best known for the Monroe Doctrine, a pivotal policy declared in 1823. This doctrine asserted that any European intervention in the Americas would be seen as an act of aggression, prompting U.S. intervention. It aimed to protect the newly independent Latin American nations from colonial powers. This significant stance established a foundation for U.S. foreign policy, promoting a sense of American exceptionalism and influence in the Western Hemisphere. The doctrine not only discouraged European imperialism, but also laid the groundwork for future U.S. interventions and expansion, shaping international relations for generations.
So basically, what the Monroe Doctrine is America claiming not just the North American land, but the entire Americas, South America, Central America, the Caribbean to themselves. Meaning any kind of government that is threatening to the United States, they have full right to intervene. That is the Monroe Doctrine. Them putting their stamp on this whole Western Hemisphere. Not just North America, but the entire hemisphere, right? So now, look, this is the New York Post. Now he called it the Donroe Doctrine. After who? Himself, right? Taking over, he wants to take over Greenland, take over, he already supposedly renamed the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, right? He regained the Panama Canal. He wanted to take Canada, and now he just took over Venezuela. So go back to the article. Go back. USA Today.
The doctrine, which the president has called the Donroe Doctrine, has for years been relegated to foreign policy history, from which recent administrations have sought to distance themselves. But more than a decade after the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, under former President Barack Obama, announced the era of Monroe Doctrine is over, Trump is now embracing it.
You know what's funny about that? That lets you know it was never over. It was never over, right? And today we're seeing it live and direct. America still has its foot all over Latin America, all over the Caribbean, right? Come on, read on.
In his remarks on January 3rd, the president cast the doctrine as a continuing tenet of U.S. foreign policy and said the operation that ousted Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro not only abides by it, but goes a step further. Trump alleged the country was hosting foreign adversaries and acquiring offensive weapons, and accused Venezuela of seizing and selling American oil assets.
You see that? How can it be American assets if it don't belong to them? How can it be an American asset if it's in Venezuela? Because again, According to the Monroe Doctrine, or now Donroe, in their minds, it belongs to them.
This is
now,
wrong!
Look, for time's sake, go to the bottom. Go up to the last paragraph. Right there. Right there. Read that.
He called it the Trump corollary. We sort of forgot about it, Trump said of the Monroe Doctrine. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy.
So look, this is your president talking. Under our new national security strategy.
American dominance.
What?
American dominance.
American dominance, right? Caucasian dominance.
In the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
You see that? That's all it's about. That's all it's about. Him going to Venezuela, showing out by bombing Venezuela, taking the president, is to show up, to show the entire earth, the West, especially the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, that what? America will never be questioned again about its dominance. So it's all it is about showing his strength. Now look, is that in the Bible? Absolutely. Go to Isaiah 14. That's in the Bible. Isaiah 14 and go to verse 4.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 4.
Come on.
Come on!
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
So look, the Lord told Isaiah, take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. The word Babylon means the land of confusion, right? But we're going to see in this prophetic scripture, it ain't talking about ancient Babylon. No, it's not. The land of Babylon today is also referred to as America, because this is the land of confusion. You want to see same-sex marriage? Oh, it's here. You want to see pedophilia? Oh, it's here. You want to see all kinds of sin? It's going to be found in this land. Abortions, right? Heavy idolatry is in this land. This is the land of confusion, Babylon. So read up one more time.
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Now, who is the king of Babylon right now? That is Donald Trump. That is Donald Trump, right? Come on.
And say, how hath the oppressor ceased?
How has what?
The oppressor ceased.
How has the oppressor ceased? So stop. So look, don't the article say? Trump just said that this was done so that the Western Hemisphere and anybody else will never question American dominance ever again. For you to say that, you have to be the oppressor. For you to have to brag about your dominance on the earth, you are the oppressor. Right, come on?
The golden city ceased.
The golden city ceased. That is why this is the land people migrate to. People will go through the whole jungles of Panama, right? We'll go to all the jungles of Colombia. We'll migrate for miles, months at a time, just to come to the golden city. Because the Bible calls this land the golden city, but it will come to an end, family. So now watch this. Go to verse 6.
Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath.
Now it says, he who smote the people in wrath. Now, watch, read on.
With a continual stroke.
Now, what does that mean? When you smoke, for example, give me the pictures of the bombings. Give me the pictures of the bombings, the videos. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. What is it? Because this ain't going to you like with your kid, right? With a chancleta. No. How does this empire, how does he oppress and smites people with his wrath? This is it, family. You see the video? This is how this man smites countries with his wrath. It's bombs. It's military oppression. Look at this. You can't fight against this. You cannot fight against it. You think Venezuela had a chance to fight against the military it has? No. That's why how many minutes it took to take the president? I forgot I sent the news, but it was a quick operation. It didn't take that long. They knew exactly how to get in there, took the president, boom, and they out. Look at that. And then guess what? While you black and Latinos were celebrating Christmas, guess what happened in Nigeria? Bombs as well. So this is how this man smites the people with his wrath, through his bombs, through his continual bombings. Come on.
He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
So now watch this. Read on.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Turn to verse 12. Verse 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
So stop. Because I know what you Christians are thinking right now. You see the word Lucifer, you think about a spiritual demon, right? You think about a spiritual, or matter of fact, some of you are actually thinking about the image we showed you earlier about a black devil. Nope, not at all. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Lucifer means light bearer, right? That's right here in New York City, right? What do you have in the harbor? You have the Statue of Liberty, which represents what? The light of the earth, right? Or the light to all, it says welcoming all the poor, right? The migrants. But it represents the light of the earth, light bearer, right? One more time, Zedek.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Come on.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
So stop. It says that Lucifer, he's going to be the one that's weakening nations. How is it that this man, right, the king of Babylon, he's the same man, king of Babylon, O Lucifer, it's the same person. How is it that he's weakening nations? Give me the story I sent you of the Arbenz, right, the Guatemala. Give me the Instagram video, right? How is it that this man, the Lucifer, king of Babylon, how does he weaken nations? Through his politics, through his military coups, right? Through his religion, right? Through all the man does, going country to country, forcing his politics, right? Forcing his religion, going with his military, bombing countries. Now you think I'm just talking? Nope. We're going to show you historical proofs that this man literally weakens nations through his military. What happened in Venezuela last week, that ain't nothing new. That is nothing new in Latin America, right? We're just seeing it for the first time in a long time with our own eyes, but ain't nothing new.
Overthrew one of the most beloved presidents in Latin America just to protect a banana company. It's the early 1950s. Guatemala is thriving under Jacobo Arbenz. He pushes land reform, builds infrastructure, and promises to lift the country out of poverty. For the first time, farmers can dream of owning the land they work. But there's a problem. The United Fruit Company, an American banana giant, controls huge amounts of unused land, and Arbenz wants to give it back to his people. The company panics. They lobby in Washington, and soon, the CIA steps in. In 1954, under Operation PB Success, the CIA arms rebels, launches propaganda, and forces Arbenz to resign. Overnight, Guatemala's democracy is gone. What was once one of the most prosperous nations in Latin America collapses into decades of military rule and fear, all to protect bananas.
Yep. So read Zedek, verse 12 again.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Come
How
on!
art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
So that's one example, right? With President of Guatemala, Jacobo Arbenz, right? When he was trying to get back the land to the indigenous people, what did America say? Nope. That goes against the American, against the Monroe Doctrine, against the American interest. What did they do? They set up a coup, and he died. They killed him. Right? Give me the economic hitman about Omar Torrijos.
Omar Torrijos, president of Panama, was, one of my favorite people. I really, really liked him. He was very charismatic. He was a guy who really wanted to help his country. And when I tried to bribe him or corrupt him, he said, look, John, he called me Juanito. He said, look, Juanito, I don't need the money. What I really need is for my country to be treated fairly. I need for the United States to repay the debts that you owe my people for all the
So
destruction
stop, hold on,
you've done.
pause that real quick.
I need to
The
be-
man you're watching right now, his name is John Perkins. Actually, I have the book right here, right? The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. His job was to go to foreign lands, like in this case, Panama, right? Ecuador, Guatemala, and any country America had an interest on their oil, gold, any resource. His job was to go and to push ridiculous kinds of loans, right? Because now when a country can't pay back their loan, what do you have to do? You can't pay back this loan? That's fine. Give me cheap oil. Give me cheap gold. Now when his job, remember he said his job was to try to corrupt Omar Torrijos. Now, when you can't corrupt the president, what happens? Then they send the jackals. Then they send the coup team to kill you, or in this case, like Maduro, they take you captive, right? Under the pretense of narco-terrorism. That was his job was literally go to countries and convince them to take crazy kind of loans under the name of American interests, right? So he's going into how his job was to corrupt the president of Panama, Omar Torrijos. Omar Torrijos took he did a great job as far as gaining back the canal to the Panamanian people. So when that happened, guess what? That was a red flag. America did not like that. So his job was to go back and try to convince him to take that to now. Well, his job was to go back to Omar Torrijos and corrupt him. Play on.
Position where I can help other Latin American countries win their independence and be free of this terrible presence from the north that you people are exploiting us so badly. I need to have the Panama Canal back in the hands of the Panamanian people. That's what I want. And so, leave me alone. Don't try to bribe me. It was 1981, and in May, Jaime Roldos was assassinated.
Stop. Jaime Roldos was the president of Ecuador, right? He also was killed. He was killed in a mysterious plane crash that apparently had every plane's supposed to have a black box. This plane didn't have it. And Jaime Roldos, he was also against the American imperialism. He was trying to unite a couple of South American countries and he was preaching. He was going hard against the American imperialism. What happened to him? He died in a mysterious plane crash that had no black box.
You don't find that suspicious?
So play on.
And Omar was very aware of this. Torrijos got his family together and he said, I'm probably next, but it's okay because I've done what I came here to do. I've renegotiated the canal. The canal will now be in our hands. He just finished negotiating the treaty with Jimmy Carter. In June of that same year, just a couple of months later, he also went down in an airplane crash, which there's no question was executed by CIA-sponsored jackals.
Stop. You see? Out of his own mouth, he said, is without a doubt was a sponsored CIA coup. Why? Because his plane, again, just like Jaime Roldos, his plane crash had no black box. That is not by accident. Why? Because Omar Torrijos and Jaime Roldos, they did not bow down to the American knee, right? But you see that go back to Isaiah 14, verse 12. These are examples to show you the Bible is a true book, right? So we're going to explain to you who is this Lucifer. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Which didst weaken nations. How? By coups, right? Happened to Jaime Roldos, Omar Torrijos, Jacobo Arbenz in Guatemala. Because after Omar Torrijos, what happened? They put Noriega in presidency, right? And then what happened? The Panama Deception, claimed Noriega as a narco-terrorist, all because to gain back the canal, right? And for you, a lot of you don't know, just by coincidence, right? The same day, January 3rd, when they took Nicolas Maduro, was the same exact date in 1990 when they got Noriega. That ain't by accident. That ain't by coincidence, right? That is not by coincidence. So when the Bible says Lucifer weakens nations, it's going into its military operations, military coups, right? It's political aspect, forcing countries to bend the knee to the American interest, right? Forcing their religion. This is how Lucifer, the king of Babylon, the American empire, weakens nations, right? He just said in the article, Trump is making it known for the whole world to know, never to doubt the American what? The American dominance. That is what you call weakening nations, the oppressor of the earth. Read on, verse 13.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
What does that mean? This goes into space travel. I know a lot of y'all talking about that. It didn't exist. Of course it existed. Once this man claimed the moon for himself, that's what it says. I will ascend into heaven. Read on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Space travel, the moon landing. Listen, this is the white man. This is Lucifer. This is Lucifer claiming the moon, trying to go into Mars. All these space expeditions, that is him. Come on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
That is why right now majority of us, right, was brought to North America, this hemisphere, to serve as slaves. Right? He is sitting on us. How? Oppressing us. Oppressing the Israelites on the face of the north. Right? Come on.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
That goes into this your planes, right? 1903, the Wright brothers. This goes into your planes. All kinds of space travel, right? All kinds of think about it now. Think about the type of military planes this man has, the type of jets it has. Like when you talking about you playing Call of Duty. Listen, what you've seen Call of Duty is nothing compared to what they have in real life. What kind of Mach speed they have now? What's the highest Mach speed they have? Mach 10. Is it Mach 10? Listen, look, these are actual jets. Like in the way they operate, man, you ain't talking about no video game, right? This is what he is, right? Come on.
I will be like the Most High.
Again, we read before in Thessalonians. He wants to be like the Most High, putting himself as God. All is the change the images of God, putting himself as God, painting himself as Jesus, right? Come on.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
But look what God says. God says you will be broken down. You will be taken down to hell. I mean, you're going into slavery as well. You're going to be brought into slavery. And that is biblical prophecy. Come on.
To the sides of the pit.
Come on.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
Hold on. We're talking about Lucifer, though. I thought he was a spiritual entity. The Bible says, they that shall see thee, see who? The king of Babylon. Lucifer, they that shall see thee, come on.
Shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
The man.
Is this the man? Is this the man? Which man? The white man, right? Is this the man? The white man? Come on.
That made the earth to tremble?
How does he make the earth to tremble? With his nuclear bombs, his military coups. Look what happened in Saudi Arabia. Look at Libya. Look at pictures before and after Libya with Gaddafi. Same thing. They label Gaddafi a terrorist. Before him, look, you can find pictures before and after. Before and after. Any country America has intervened to, it's never been for the betterment of the people. Never. As the Bible says, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? How does he make the earth to tremble? With his bombs. With his bombs. He literally made Venezuela to tremble. I'll read it again.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Come on.
That didn't shake the kingdom.
That didn't shake the kingdoms. What happened last week Saturday? And put the Venezuela bombings again. That is going to shaking kingdoms. You shook a whole kingdom and took his president. The Bible is a real book. But what does the Bible call this man? Lucifer, the king of Babylon. Regime changes, right? To shake kingdoms goes into regime changes. Look, he made the earth, literally made the earth to tremble with his bombs. That's what it's going into. Right? Give me the map I gave you of the different coups. I gave you a map. Put that map up of the different coups in Latin America. What we're seeing today, 2026, ain't nothing new. This is how this man operates. Anytime any country goes against the American interest, it's going to send its jackals. It's going to cause economic hitmen to go in there, then the jackals for regime changes. I send you drawing me of the map. You see it? Put that up. So look at this map here. This is 56 U.S. military interventions in Latin America, right? 56. Guatemala, 1954. That's when we saw the video with Jacobo Arbenz, right? The CIA intervened in Guatemala, took him out, put his own government, right? Cuba, 1961. Haiti, 2004. Puerto Rico, 1950. Dominican Republic, 1965. El Salvador, 1981 to 92. Honduras, 2009. Nicaragua, 1981 to 1990. Grenada, 1983 to 84. Venezuela, 2002. But guess what? 2026. We got to update that map. Go down. Right? Panama, 1989, right, with Noriega. The Panama Deception. Chile, 1973, with Allende, right? Boom. And many more, right? They're not including Africa. They're not including the dark continents. But this is how man operates. That's how he shakes kingdoms. This is called the oppressor of the earth. So what we're seeing in Venezuela today with Nicolas Maduro, it ain't nothing new. But the things that you Latinos, you blacks, y'all love the white man so much you can't see it. You can't see this. A lot of you are cheering on for Trump. Y'all clapping your hands for Trump. But understand, what happened in Venezuela, oh, it's coming to other countries. Give me that next video now, where he threatens Cuba, threatened Colombia and Mexico. A lot of you Latinos are cheering on for Trump. Listen, what happened last week with Maduro, oh, that's just a warning for a lot of other Latin American countries.
Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick
Play
man.
back from the beginning.
Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States.
So stop.
And
You
he's not
see?
gonna be-
So you see the same nonsense again. Colombia is very sick, run by a sick man that sells cocaine to the... Look, why is this always the same thing? Narco-terrorism. The same lies. Because Petro been telling the people that all Trump wants of Venezuela is the oil. That is why he's talking like that. But again, he's accusing now President Petro of Colombia of selling cocaine to America. Go ahead.
Be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very
So there will
long.
be an
Stop.
operation by the
Hold
U.S.
on, because you understand you understand the coding. What does it mean him saying he's not going to do it for very long? What he's saying is what he did to Maduro is going to happen to Petro. That's what it means, right? It's not going to happen for long. He's giving him a warning. Say, I'm coming for you next. That's what he's saying. Come on.
It's good to me. And Cuba is ready to fall. You know?
Yes.
Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they can hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this.
So stop. Now he said Cuba as well. Cuba's ready to fall. Again, he's speaking in code. He's saying, look, I'm going to take over Cuba next. Come on.
Considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. You ever watch a fight?
I have.
They go down for the count. And Cuba looks like it's going down. By the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get
hold on. Now, look about you Mexicans. Issachar said we got to do something about Mexico, too. Go ahead.
their act together because they're pouring through Mexico and we're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it. But unfortunately, the cartels are very strong in Mexico. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
So you see what's happening, right? He's not only just took over Venezuela, now he's making threats to Colombia, making threats to Cuba, and making threats to Mexico. Now, going back to Colombia, give me the video of Petro, because for we've been talking about it for the past few weeks. Petro, he's not back. He's been letting know in the news about Nicolas Maduro and U.S. He's been letting people know, no, Maduro's not no narco terrorist. All those are lies, because all America wants is go in there and get the oil. He's been talking about it, right? So this is a live speech of President Petro. I want to show you that he is not backing down, right? Look what he says about the no, you read the subtitles. Read the subtitles. Play.
A clan of pedophiles wants to destroy democracy in Colombia.
Un clan de pedófilos quiere acabar la democracia en Colombia. Duro,
Harsh, yes.
sí,
But that's the reality.
pero ahí está la realidad.
And to keep the list from coming out,
Y para que no salga la lista, entonces nos envían a
They send warships to kill us,
corazonados a matar pescadores
fishermen from this city
de esta ciudad.
and threaten the neighbor, talking about dictator and so on.
Right, because he's talking about, look, you talking about dictatorship. What about the Epstein list? Right, that's what he's talking about, the list. Right, come on.
Y amenazar al vecino que si dictador o no, ¿cómo que el pueblo
As if the people of Colombia would applaud an invasion
de Colombia va a aplaudir que invadan a su hermano
of their brother,
que no es el
which is not the president, but the people of Venezuela.
presidente, sino el pueblo de Venezuela?
When would we ever be so treacherous and sold out?
¿Cuándo seríamos así de traidores y
That's
de
heavy.
vendidos?
Paul, you know why? Because, look, again, people have different views about politics, right, about Maduro and whatever. But how can you cheer on about a whole nother nation, not only that, a whole empire coming to your country, taking your president, not only that, but taking all your resources? That's what it's going into. Because a lot of people right now are protesting for or against Maduro. Now, we're not here to talk any political standpoint, but the fact that people are cheering on and allowing the U.S. to come and take all your resources, that's what you call being sold out, right? And killing your people at the same time. That's them sellouts. And we're going to talk about you in this class too. Come on.
De que nuestra
Betraying
propia
our
sangre la
own blood,
traicionamos, o el pueblo del Ecuador,
or the people of Panama,
o el pueblo de Panamá,
or the people of Venezuela.
o el pueblo de Venezuela no es nuestro
They are our own people.
propio pueblo.
So they want the president to
Y entonces quieren que el presidente haga lo que
do what that coward, Ivan Duque,
quería ser Duque,
wanted to do.
cobarde, prestar las tierras
To lend Colombia's land so
de
that
Colombia para
from there they could invade
que desde ahí se invadiera a un
a
país
brother country that shares
hermano que
the same history as us.
tiene la misma historia que nosotros, porque allá nació
Because Bolivar was born there
Bolívar y vino a morir aquí
and came to die here in this city.
en esta ciudad.
It cannot be.
Se puede.
A president of Colombia
Presidente de Colombia que haga eso,
that would do that would be cursed by future generations.
presidente maldito por las generaciones futuras, porque nunca
Because you would never be forgotten as a traitor.
será
That's
olvidado
heavy,
como
man. That's heavy, man. He's letting you know, don't be a sellout. Don't sell out your people for money. Because that's what it is. America will give you a good loan. They'll give you a good loan. But he said, don't sell out your brother for a damn heathen, man. Come on. This is heavy, man. This guy in the spirit, man. So you take it down because it's a long speech. But this is why Trump is mad at Colombia. Because from the beginning of this whole turmoil of Venezuela, Petro, he been standing with Maduro. He been letting them know all that Trump wants is the oil that's in that country. Now give me Cuba. Give me the Cuban president. Because Cuba ain't backing down either. Now Cuba has a rich history of having that warrior spirit, right? Cuba been a revolutionary country, right? Island. So now this is Miguel Diaz, right, of Cuba. Play that. Play it from the beginning.
¡Abajo el imperialismo!
Down with imperialism.
¡Abajo
Down with
el imperialismo! ¡Abajo
Down
el
with genocidal,
imperialismo genocida, inmoral y
And fascist
fascista!
imperialism.
Este acto de
This act
terrorismo
of
de Estado que
state
acaba de
terrorism
ocurrir
that
en
just occurred in
Venezuela
Venezuela
es un
is a scandalous violation of international law.
atropello escandaloso a las normas del derecho internacional. La
A military aggression against a peaceful nation
agresión militar a una nación de paz que en nada
which poses no threat to the United States.
amenaza a Estados Unidos y el
The kidnapping of a legitimate president,
secuestro de un presidente legítimo electo
sovereignly elected by his people.
soberanamente por su pueblo. No puede haber
There can
silencio
be no silence or acceptance
ni aceptación de ese acto
of
de
this act of state terrorism.
terrorismo de Estado solo comparable
comparable only
con
to the crimes against humanity
los crímenes contra la humanidad que comete
committed by Israeli Zionism
el sionismo israelí en la franja de
in the
Gaza.
Gaza Strip.
Right, that's the question. You took my dude. What about them in Israel? That's a genocide, right? Come on, play on.
The very dark object of imperialist desire
Muy oscuro objeto del deseo imperialista es el petróleo
is
venezolano.
Venezuelan oil.
Everybody knows that is the objective. Cuba knows it. Colombia knows it. That the main thing is the oil and the natural resources of Venezuela. That's why Trump said Colombia is next and Cuba is next. Come on.
The lands and natural resources of Venezuela.
Las tierras y los recursos naturales de Venezuela. No, señores
No
imperialistas. Este no es
This
su
is not your backyard,
patio trasero ni
nor a disputed territory.
territorio en disputa. No
We do not accept or recognize
aceptamos ni reconocemos la doctrina
the Monroe
Monroe.
Doctrine.
You see that? Because he understands what just happened in Venezuela is the Monroe Doctrine, or now he calls it the Monroe Doctrine. Come on.
Nor outdated kings or emperors.
Ni reyes ni emperadores trasnochados por Venezuela
Venezuela and, of course,
y por supuesto también
also
por
for Cuba.
Cuba.
We
Estamos
are
dispuestos
prepared to give even our own blood,
a dar hasta nuestra propia sangre, hasta nuestra
even our own lives.
propia vida, pero a un
But we will make them pay a very high price.
precio
Look,
muy caro.
This is heavy, man. This is heavy. Listen, our brothers are realizing again that this man is the devil. Listen, it's stirring up again that warrior spirit. Because look, give me the video of Che. Because any leader that has risen up and speaks boldly against America like this, you're on the hit list. You become they're labeled a terrorist, just like us. They label us a hate group. But the point is, look, what's happening right now is necessary because the earth gotta understand that this man, the white man, America, is the beast. He is the devil on earth. So listen, all right now we gotta do, brothers and sisters, you gotta stay in the spirit. You gotta keep the commandments, keep your mind in the Bible, because right now we're living in biblical times. We're living in biblical prophecy, right? So, give me Chet. That's number 3. Number one. So I'm gonna read this one to death, because it's my man. So Che Guevara, right? He was a brother from Argentina. He was actually he was well off. He was a doctor from Argentina. He lived a good life, but when he was traveling throughout South America, the Americas, he saw the pain of our people. He saw the poverty of our people. He saw what the American imperialism caused in our countries. So what he did, he decided to join the Cuban Revolution. So instead of living comfortably with his people, what did he do? He joined the fight, and he actually led the revolution in Cuba with Fidel Castro, went to Bolivia, right, where he was assassinated. He was killed, right? So look, this was a speech he did in the UN, right? Put it up. Just famous motherland or death speech to the UN. Right, in New York City, December 11th, 1964. This new will of the continent of Latin America
Posición nueva de un continente de América está
is made manifest in the cry.
Plasmada y resumida en el grito que
proclaimed daily by our masses.
Día a día nuestras masas proclaman como
in the irrefutable expression
irrefutable de su decisión
of their decision to fight and to paralyze
de lucha, paralizando la mano armada del
the armed hand of the invader,
invasor. Proclama
a cry that has the understanding and the support
que cuenta con la comprensión y el apoyo de todos los
of all the people of the world.
Pueblos del mundo.
That cry is
la proclama es patria
Homeland or death. Patria or muerte, right? Come on.
muerte.
And walked off. And this is why the CIA invested so much money for this man to be put to death. Same way as Fidel, right? I think they attempted over 600 times to kill Fidel Castro. They try to poison his cigars. They try to have his mistress kill him. They try to poison his diving suit. They had over 600 attempts to kill Fidel Castro. And what they also label him? A dictator, terrorist. Why? Because give me 1 Maccabees. Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Anytime any country does not dance to the tune of the American government, you're labeled a terrorist. You're labeled a narco-terrorist. You're labeled a dictator, a hate group, right? And what they'll do? They'll cause coups, military interventions, drop bombs on you. Come on. And that's in the Bible. Watch this. 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Let's go.
Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans.
The Romans here is the Roman Republic. Come on.
That they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined them, themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
Jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms.
So stop. What does that sound like? That sounds just like the Monroe Doctrine, right? It says here that they brought under their dominion all other kingdoms. Read on.
And isles.
And islands. That we just saw that in the Monroe Doctrine. You're under the dominion of the American influence, the American dominance, like Trump said. Come on.
That at any time resisted them.
Oh, look, and at any time, if they resisted the will of the Romans, in today's time, if you resist the dominance of America, you say, I'm not dancing to your tune. I'm not giving you my oil. I'm not giving you my resources. I'm not bowing down to your democracy. Come on.
But with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept amnesty.
So if you agreed with them, you danced to their tune, you gave them all your resources, or like Petro said, right? You sold out your land to betray your brethren, right? You sell out your lands, you cop out, you take that paycheck to sell out your homeland, right? They'll let you be. They'll let you be. Come on.
And that they had conquered kingdoms, both far and nigh.
Come on.
Insomuch as all that heard of their name were afraid of them.
Watch this, read on.
Also that whom they would help to a kingdom.
So look, it says also to whom they would help to get a kingdom.
Those reigns.
So guess what? We saw the coups, right? Any country they saw, oh look, that's why it is called something as the schools of the Americas. After Cuba, they instituted that all throughout the Latin America to stop another Cuba from happening. Anything that sounded like against American imperialism, anything that sounded that was against democracy, oh yeah, your name was on the list. Cause a coup. Cause an American intervention. Anything that sounded like communism, boom, send the jackals. Right? So if they wanted you to be a king or a president or a governor, they put you there. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the governor of Puerto Rico too. That came up today in the news. Right? If they wanted you to be in power, they'll put you there. Read on.
Those reign. And whom again they would, they displace.
And whom what?
And whom again they would, they displace.
And whom they wanted to displace, they took him out. What is that going into? Your coups. Like who? Jacobo Arbenz of Guatemala. Omar Torrijos of Panama. Jaime Roldos of Ecuador. Right? These are the economic coups, the military coups. Right? And whom they would, they displaced. Come on. Like today, Nicolas Maduro. We're reliving history again, right? Those who they didn't want to put in office, they displaced, right? Come on.
Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
So this we're reading in the Bible is happening today. Give me the other John Perkins, the other video, Economic Hitman.
This is an incredible time to be on this planet. It's a time when a true revolution is happening. I think in many respects, we're at a time in history that rivals the agricultural revolution, and the Industrial Revolution, and the time when we realized that the world was not flat and that the sun did not revolve around this planet, we revolved around the sun. At times like these, there are amazing, huge changes. And it's important for people to be prepared and to understand that that's coming. And I think we're at one of those times right now. Incredible experience for me. I learned so much from these indigenous people. And then I became an economic hitman. And the story of that and how that transformation happened is described in the books Confessions of an Economic Hitman and The Secret History of the American Empire. But suffice it to say that we economic hitmen have in the last few decades created the world's first truly global empire.
Stop. You see that? He said for the past few decades, right, we have truly created the first global empire. Because America ain't just here in North America, it's global. Any country does not dance to his tunes, trust me, they're going to find a way to make you dance to his tune. Whether it be through politically, right, economically, or if that don't work, they'll send their jackals. Like they did in Venezuela with Maduro. They'll send the jackals, the military, and get you out the way. Come on.
The first empire that's been created primarily without the military, through economics. We work many different ways, but perhaps the most common is that we will identify a third world country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil.
Like what? Like, you see that? We'll find first what our companies covet, like oil. Right? Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the planet, in the earth. Come on.
And then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. However, the money never goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our own corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, highways, industrial parks, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, as well as our own corporations, but do not help the majority of the people at all, because these people are too poor to buy electricity or have cars. They don't have the skills to get jobs in industrial parks. And yet the whole country, is left holding a huge debt. And it's such a huge debt they can't possibly repay it. So at some point, the economic hitmen go back and say, you owe us a lot of money, you can't repay your debts, so give us a pound of flesh. Sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world, like Iraq. And in that way, we've created this empire. On the few occasions when we economic hitmen fail,
so stop. So now he said, look, if this plan doesn't work, right? If by us going through the economic hitman doesn't work, well, look what they do. Come on.
In Secret History of the American Empire, what happened to me with Jaime Roldos, the president of Panama, and president of Ecuador, and Omar Torrijos, the president of Panama, I failed with both of these men. I was not able to corrupt.
He failed. He couldn't corrupt them because they saw what it was. They couldn't be they could not live to be a traitor. They could not sell out their people, right? So they failed with those two. Now look what he's gonna say. Come on.
In this corruption, incidentally, my job, everything I did was legal. It shouldn't be, but the forms of corruption we use are totally legal, so I wasn't doing illegal activities. When I failed to bring them around, to get them to accept these loans, to get them to put their countries into servitude, then I knew that standing right behind me were what we call the jackals. And these are people who overthrow governments or assassinate their leaders.
See? These are the people, these are the jackals. Those are the ones that overthrow governments and do what? Assassinate presidents. So what happened? With Maduro, they cannot corrupt him. And matter of fact, you can take it down. In his book, he talks about Chavez, right? Ooh, man, Chavez, man. The way he spoke, man, oof. Matter of fact, give me that video. Give me that next. Give me that next. Because in his book, right, again, in this book right here, he mentions that the only thing that saved Chavez from the jackals was Saddam Hussein. Because they couldn't fight two wars. They couldn't go to Iraq and Venezuela. So he said in that book, if it wasn't for Saddam Hussein, they would have taken him out, right? Which, but look, this is why they also called Chavez a terrorist. Chavez is not bound to knee. Look what he said. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this one. Play that. Now, this is the former president of Venezuela, right? Chavez. Play.
Yo les voy a decir algo.
I'll say something to the U.S.
Bastante
There are enough mountains here.
montaña hay aquí. Bastantes
There are enough islands here.
islas hay aquí. Bastante
There is enough jungle here.
selvas hay aquí. Bastante
There is enough land here.
tierra hay aquí. Y saben una cosa.
And you know what?
Bastante
There are
pueblo
enough people here.
hay aquí. Y saben
And you know another thing?
otra cosa. Bastante
There are enough balls here
cojones hay aquí. Para
to defend this land,
defender esta tierra. Para defender
to defend this homeland
esta patria. De cualquier
from any intruder who thinks they can come here
intruso que pretenda venir a humillar
and humiliate the dignity of this sacred land of Venezuela.
la dignidad de esta tierra sagrada de la Venezuela, de todos nosotros.
Of all of us, damn it.
Carajo. Yo le
Chavez, this is why they hated Chavez, because he did not bow the knee. They wanted the oil, even from his time and before they wanted the oil of Venezuela. He said, nah, I ain't letting you take the oil. Yeah. But listen, that's why, again, what happened today with Nicolas Maduro, it's all about the oil, right? But it's nothing new. It is nothing new. It's just for you now, you're like, oh, how can this happen? But it is time to realize this man is the devil, right? He is the man of sin. So we should read Maccabees. Now we gotta talk about the coons, because we saw a couple videos of some good loyal brothers, some loyal brothers, right? Chavez, Petro, the Cuban president. But look, give me Puerto Rico. Now this right here, this decree came out today, right? Come on.
Statement. Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, Governor of Puerto Rico. Statement by the Governor of Puerto Rico, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, on Venezuela. It is a new day for Venezuela. The decisive action taken by the United States, led by President Donald J. Trump, reaffirms the commitment to end narco-terrorism in our hemisphere, as well as defending the rule of law, democracy, and human rights. For years, I have denounced the socialism that has held Venezuela captive. Once again, I reiterate my solidarity with its brave people and my hope that recent events will pave the way for an orderly, peaceful, and democratic transition that allows Venezuela to rediscover the freedom and prosperity it longs for. I thank Secretaries Rubio and Hegseth and our armed forces for capturing the tyrant, Maduro, and bringing him to justice. As Governor of Puerto Rico, I am proud that Venezuela will finally have peace without the narco dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro and his cronies. The U.S. Armed Forces and our nation may continue to rely on Puerto Rico as a strategic partner in the mission to support our national security and bring stability to our hemisphere.
What does that sound like? That sounds like the Monroe Doctrine she's talking about. Yo, can somebody tell this vieja, bro, that she's next? Can somebody tell this vieja that Puerto Rico is a colony? That Puerto Rico uses U.S. dollars? Like, come on. The thing is this. Look, give me Isaiah 8 and 9. This is what it is, right? For you Latinos, right now thinking that Trump is going to save you, look, you're next. Oh, you're next. Because as soon as you say no to any of their political, right, economic moves, oh, you're next. They'll just replace you. They'll just put the next one up. Isaiah 8 and 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 9.
Come on!
Associate yourselves, O ye people.
Oh, you want to be associated with, you want to join hands with the enemy? You want to say, oh, yeah, we're happy. And now we also, Puerto Ricans, can have the best interest of the hemisphere, of this hemisphere. Listen, when they say the American interest, they ain't talking about Puerto Rico. They're not talking about you. They're talking about your, they're talking about your oil, talking about your diamonds, talking about your gold, but they ain't talking about the people, right? So the Bible says, associate ye or yourselves, O ye people. Read on.
And ye shall be broken in pieces.
What does God say?
And ye shall be broken in pieces.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get that same judgment that's coming for this white man. You want to join hands with the enemy? You want to be a traitor? God says, and ye shall be broken into pieces. Come on.
And give ear, all ye of far countries.
Come on.
Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces.
Again, you want to join hands with the enemy? You want to hide under the banner of democracy? Right? Come on.
Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces.
Instead of calling out what it is, listen, instead of calling it out as robbery, right? Colonialism in the 21st century, an economic hit job on Venezuela, you want to talk about is good what's happening? How can this be good? What has any U.S. intervention been good for Latin America? Or for any country at that? What has it been good? Never. But God says if you want to associate yourself with the enemy, you'll be broken into pieces. That's for all you coons out there. That's for all of you coons out there, right? So from there, let's go to give me the Stephen Miller, the Instagram video. That is number 8.
The president said is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power.
Stop. You see what he said? He said, you can talk about all your policies you want, foreign laws. He said we live in a world that's dominated by force, strength, and what else he said? And power. He said we don't care about your foreign laws. All we care is about what? American dominance. We want the oil, we're going to take that oil. Come on.
Definition, we are in charge. Because
he said by definition, we're in charge. Because who can fight against America? Who can go against his military power? Nobody. Come on.
We have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge. The United States is running the country during this transition period. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower.
Stop, you see? He said, we're the superpower, and under Trump's administration, we're going to continue being that superpower. Yo, so if you want to know who the devil is, just look, then you know we are the man of sin. We are that Lucifer. We are that king of Babylon that oppresses and shakes nations. Right? That's what's going into. Come on.
It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us. To hoard weapons.
You see again. Do you know they're mad because Venezuela was giving oil to Russia, to China, but not to them. That's what it's all about. It's about the oil, about the money. That's what they say. You want to find the devil? Just track the money. That's where the devil is at. Come on.
From our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years.
We just read about that. It's all about American interests. That's all it is. Come on.
We sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking about right now.
So, do you see what he said? He said they set the rules of engagement. Said we declare who trades to who. We have, because why? He said we live in a world that's dominated by strength, power, and force. They are the oppressor of the earth. In Revelation chapter 13. Revelation 13 verse 4. Revelation chapter 13 verse 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 4.
Come on!
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
So this is going into Rome, right? But America is an extension of Rome. So it says, and they worship the dragon. Who's the dragon? The devil. Read on.
And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast. So
think about it. It says, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. We read that in Thessalonians, right? Whose comings are after the workings of Satan. Everything they've gotten is why? Because they worship. They are the devil. They're the sons of Satan, right? Read on.
Saying, who is like unto the beast?
So this is the question. The question is who is like unto the beast? Who is like unto this Caucasian race? Who is like unto America? Read on.
Who is able to make war with him?
For you to ask this question, right? Who is able to make war with him? Why you ask that question? Because today, nobody's able to make war against the beast. Because they have a military capability that nobody else has on this earth. That's why this man was able to go on national TV and say, we operate the rules of engagement. We control who you sell your oils to, who gets what. We serve the terms of this earth because nobody is able to make war unto this man. Because they govern this earth through his politics, through his military, through his power, right? And look, this blessing is from the beginning. Give me Genesis 4 real quick, right? This power of dominance, this power of strength, this power of force, been since the beginning. Genesis 4:17.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 17. And Cain.
And who?
And Cain.
Remember, Cain was that wicked one. Cain was the one that killed his just brother Abel, right? And Cain, come on.
Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of this city after the name of his son Enoch.
Go to verse 21.
Verse 21. And his brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ.
So out of Cain's line, what happened? They invented evil music, right? All the evil music you hear about today, listen, that came through Cain's line. They started making evil music on this earth. Come on, wicked music, come on.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain.
Now read about Tubal-Cain, right? Watch this, Tubal-Cain, come on.
An instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
What does that mean? That means he invented all kinds of weapons of war. So that spirit of dominance, of force, right, of power, that military capability, that's been since Tubal-Cain, the artificer of brass and iron. Give me Genesis 27 now. Right, that was Cain's lineage, Genesis 27 and verse 38.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 38.
Come on.
And Esau said unto his father.
Now, talking about Esau. Esau is the father of all Caucasian race, right, of all white people today, right? Come on.
Hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Come on.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
So the blessing of Esau was that he was going to live in the best parts of the earth. Read on.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
Meaning everywhere. Come on. Now, verse 40 is going to explain how he lived in the best parts of the earth. How he lived throughout the earth. Come on.
And by thy sword.
And by thy what?
By thy sword.
What is a sword? A sword is a fighting weapon, a military weapon, right? And by thy sword, read on.
Shalt thou live.
What does that mean? That's that same blessing of making military weapons, weaponry of war. That same spirit of war came through Esau. So what he's saying, nothing new. That's in him. That is in his genealogy. That's in his spirit, right? To be dominant, to be forceful, to be a thief on this earth, right? To steal resources, to steal countries, to bomb nations, That's his spirit. He is the oppressor of this earth. So what happened in Venezuela, the regime change, that is nothing new. That is him. That is the man of sin. That is the man of that is the devil, right? This king of Babylon. So from there, let's go to look. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live." Right? That sword carried to this day. Revelations 13:7. That sword carried on to this day. Revelations chapter 13, verse 7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 7. "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints."
Who's that him? That him is that same beast. This Caucasian empire, particularly he is going to Spain and Portugal, right? It was given unto him power, right? To make war. It was given to him, read it one more time.
"And it was given unto him to make war with the saints."
How did he make war against the saints? When he put us in slavery. 1441, right? Pope Nicholas V, the same Pope that you Latinos worship, he gave the order to enslave all non-Christians, all non-Catholics throughout the world. And guess what? After him, Pope Alexander VI of Rome came to the Americas with that same decree to enslave all the indigenous of the Americas. That's that war against the saints. And to this very day, he's making war against us, right? Read on.
"And to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds."
Over all what?
All kindreds.
That's what he said in the video. We're what? We're a superpower. And under Trump's administration, we're going to continue to show that we're a superpower. Right? And it was giving him power over all kindreds.
And tongues and nations.
What's that called? That's called a superpower. That's how you know this is going into the American empire. Right? The Caucasian empire. The superpower of the earth. Right? And what happened with Nicolas Maduro, all he did was just show his power. He just flexed. He just flexed. And he showed the whole earth, oh, you thought it was done. You thought we quieted down. No, we ain't done. Right? So look, from there, give me the one Maduro effed around and found out. Right? This is how you know this man he's just bragging. He's showing you who he is. Right? That is video. That's right there. 6.
Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around and he found out.
You see? This is a press conference. He said Maduro effed around and he found out. That's what you call the oppressor of the earth. Right? Give me Jeremiah 50:23. Jeremiah 50:23.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 23.
Come on!
"How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?"
Stop right there. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? What's a hammer used to do? Yes, you can build with a hammer, but a hammer is also used to what? To do demolitions, to destroy, right? To show power. So God calls this nation the hammer of the earth. For you to say, oh, Maduro effed around and found out, well, you're showing your power. You're showing I can do whatever I want. Oh, yeah, I know there's foreign laws, right? There's policy. I don't care with that. Because who can really go to Trump and say, Trump, you're under arrest? Who's going to sue? Nobody. Why? Because they are that hammer of the earth. They're that dominant empire. They're the oppressor, right? Come on, one more time.
"How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?"
Look what God is letting you know that they are going to be broken. Their day is coming. What they're doing to our people, right? What they're doing throughout this whole earth, their judgment is coming. God said there will be broken, right? To asunder. Come on.
"How is Babylon?"
How is what?
Babylon.
Come on.
"Become a desolation among the nations."
That's the same thing Isaiah wrote about. How is Babylon, the king of Babylon, that oppressive city, become desolate among the nations? Because America's destiny is being bombed by nuclear fire. That is his destiny. It's going to be bombed by nuclear fire. But what I'm trying to show you is these regime changes, these military coups, military interventions, that's how this man operates for years, for centuries. That's nothing new. It is nothing new. But we're using the Bible to show you blacks and Latinos who this man is. He is not your friend. He is your enemy. He's going to do whatever it takes to take all your resources. He's going to do whatever it takes to become richer, to become more powerful on this earth, right? Because give me that last article, the CNN article.
CNN Business. Trump says U.S. is taking control of Venezuela's oil reserves. Here's what it means.
So the reason I bring this article is because we kept reading about and seeing videos about oil and oil. How much oil did he just steal? How much oil did he just seize in Venezuela? Read right there.
President Donald Trump on Saturday said the U.S. would take control of Venezuela's massive oil reserves and recruit American companies to invest billions of dollars to refurbish the country's gutted oil industry.
Come on.
Venezuela is sitting on a massive 303 billion barrels worth of crude.
How many barrels?
303 billion barrels.
That's why they're so infatuated with the oil in Venezuela. It's 303 billion barrels. That's why the focus on Venezuela. Since Chavez, with Maduro, you're talking about billions of barrels, right? We'll read on.
About a fifth of the world's global reserves, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration.
Mm-hmm.
That trove of crude will play a central role in the country's future.
Watch this. Go down to the image. You see that? Look at that. Venezuela on number one. 303. This is in the billions of barrels of oil, right? Because you're not talking about just in the land, not considering now in the outskirts, right, around the coast of Venezuela, right? So go down where it talks about Venezuela's oil potential.
Right there.
Yes.
For oil, this has the potential for an historic event, said Phil Flynn, senior market analyst at the Price Futures Group. The Maduro regime and former Venezuela president Hugo Chavez basically ransacked the Venezuelan oil industry.
Look, so go down. What Trump said, go down. It's right above where it says what's next for oil prices. Go down, go down. Okay, let me see. No, go down. Keep going, keep going. It's right above where it says what's next for oil prices. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, right there. You see, go up. Where it says they were pumping almost nothing by comparison.
They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place, Trump said.
Watch this.
We're going to have our very large United States oil company.
So this is what Trump is saying. We're going to have our own very large United States oil companies.
The biggest anywhere in the world.
Just put it in your mind in his voice, right? The biggest anywhere in the world. Go on.
Go in.
He's telling go into Venezuela.
And spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
He added. You see, because you know why? You know what's to have now in your reserves? To have now in your pocket 303 billion barrels of oil? That's it. That's a game changer for Trump. So, look, go to Isaiah 33:1. That's it. The mission accomplished, Trump. You got the oil. Chavez didn't allow you to. Chavez said no. Maduro said no. Now you got him. Now you got the oil. But guess what? Now the earth is realizing that you are the devil. Not just you, but the entire administration. Listen, give me Isaiah 33:1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 1.
Let's go.
Woe to thee that spoilest.
God says, when it says woe, God is saying judgment and destruction, right? So judgment to thee that spoilest. How have you spoiled? We saw all the coups. We saw all the Latin American interventions, right? We just saw how now you just stole 300 billion barrels of Venezuelan oil, right? Woe to him that spoilest. Read on.
And thou was not spoiled.
Because nobody has spoiled America. And if anybody tries, what is it? It's nothing but bombs on top of bombs, right? But your day is coming. Come on.
And dealest treacherously.
How do you deal treacherously? Oh, label him a narco-terrorist. Now you're labeling Petro a narco-terrorist, right? Same how you did with all our leaders, right? You killed Pedro Albizu Campos of Puerto Rico. right? The CIA assassinated Che Guevara. You tried over 600 times to kill Fidel Castro, right? You ran down and killed Omar Torrijos. You killed Jaime Roldos. And you killed Jacobo Arbenz. All why? Because they ain't danced to the tune of your songs. Right? Come on.
And they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Watch this.
When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled.
So God says, you're going to be spoiled. How? Because your judgment is nuclear bombs. That's what it is. Come on.
And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Yes, because the whole earth is going to realize you're the devil. And what's going to happen? Oh, all the nuclear bombs are going to be faced towards you. And you're going to become that lake of fire. Now look what Christ said. Christ is saying something different. Give me John 10 and 10. Look what Christ called you. Right? So my people watching this class, especially you Latinos, right? And blacks, right? Because we're all one nation. Listen, this is the time. This has to happen because God said it before. In our affliction, we'll seek him early. And in this affliction, we got to show you who's the enemy. Right? The whole earth is going to realize it. Give me John 10 and 10.
The book of John, chapter 10 and verse 10.
Come on.
The thief.
The what?
The thief.
The what?
The thief.
The thief. For you to say on national TV, you effed around and you found out. For you to say we, the Trump administration, we are that superpower. We dictate who sells who to what, right? We are a government that rules through force, strength, and power, right? You just stole, over 300 billion barrels of oil. So what did God call you? What did Christ call you?
The thief.
The what?
The thief.
You are that thief. Does what?
Cometh not, but for to steal.
You just stole the oil of Venezuela. Same thing how you stole the Canal of Panama, right? You stole all the gold of Puerto Rico, all the diamonds of Santo Domingo. You stole all the fruits of Central America. Now it's under the name of Chiquita Bananas, Chiquita Fruit Company. That is stolen. Stolen lands. Stolen lands. Come on.
And to kill.
And to what?
And to kill.
Guess what? Those bombs you dropped in Venezuela, the bombs you dropped in Nigeria, that's you. That's in your spirit. You come to steal and to kill. Read on.
And to destroy.
And to what?
To destroy.
All them bombings you've done. You've done, right? In Nigeria. You've done in Venezuela. The deception in Panama. Right? All them bombings you've done. That's you. That's what you are. That's who this white man is. You're that thief that comes to what? To steal, to kill, and to destroy. You're that oppressive city. What Isaiah said, King of Babylon, he that oppressive and destroyeth kingdoms. Same thing Christ is saying. One more time to deck.
The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
Come on.
I am come that they might have life.
But Christ came what? To give the Israelites, to give you blacks and Latinos and natives life. How? By believing on him, which is a black Messiah, and keeping his commandments. That is the only way God's going to fight for us, right? You want things to get better in Venezuela? You want things to get better in Colombia? You want things to get better in Cuba and all Latin America? We have to come back to Christ, the true Christ, the black Messiah, and keep God's commandments. That is the only way things will get better for us as a people, all right? So with that, family, I say shalom. Most High in Christ bless.